Hi, my name is Dr. Sean at Alaska Healing Arts Chiropractic and Rehab, and I am here today at Alaska Kettlebell joined by Jody, and we're gonna go over a couple questions. I've actually been going to the gym for a couple months now. It's been fantastic. I've loved all the classes, loved your coaching and everything, so I thought it's about time we come over and ask you some questions.
Well, we're glad to
Sweet. So the first one is, what makes kettlebells stand out to other training implements, whether that be sandbags, dumbbells, barbells? What makes kettlebells kettlebells?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the most appealing aspect of kettlebells, first is their versatility, second is their flexibility. They're a little more forgiving on the joints than barbells, sandbags, dumbbells. It all has its place, but I think kettlebells are just more forgiving for most people.
Yeah, for sure. I know specifically, like for me, when I'm doing rehab with patients, it's easier for me to make their joint happy with a kettlebell versus with a dumbbell, or certainly a barbell or a sandbag or something like that. We can make their joint, or we can put their joint in a better position and actually load it in a good way.
That makes sense. I also think it's easier to learn the movements with kettlebells than it is with the other implements.
Yeah,
sure. And on top of that, they're fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. What's the most common injury that you see here, not just with kettlebells, but in the gym?
Overuse injuries. If you're following a proper program with good coaching, you're going to be safe. But if you push too hard or too frequently, you might see tendonitis sneaking in on you. Every now and again, we'll get some wore out elbows or wore out shoulders. But generally speaking, strength training is really safe.
Okay. What about, this is infamous, what about low back pain with kettlebell swings? Is that something you see here fairly frequently at all?
We really don't, because we do them right.
Yeah.
If you do them right, they're really safe.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. If someone's looking to start with kettlebells, they've never done them before, what's one recommendation that you could give them?
Easiest way, if you're in Anchorage, is to take a class from us. Second way would be to take a class from a reputable coach. I think SFG and RKC are the industry standards. Yeah. So first thing is learn how to train properly, and then follow a proper program.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's just like with anything, like if you're learning a new skill, it's good to go to someone that is knowledgeable at that skill to show you how to use it, you know?
Without question. It shaves the learning curve.
Yeah. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jody. Thank you for letting me come here and ask you some questions. And we'll see you next time.